right. Well, welcome to another edition of Woman Crush Wednesday Cyber Edition. And today I am joined by no other than Shakera Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be a part of this series, which is highlighting women in cybersecurity.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
thank you for doing this for us.
You know, we gotta shine our light, gotta shine our light on each other. So we're gonna jump straight in, straight in. You are an island gal, hailing all the way from Berry Island.
Yes.
And although many family islanders have made valuable contributions to the Bahamas, they are still, in many cases, looked upon as inferior. In which way, if any, has this impacted the woman that you are today?
Yes, so I'm a proud resident, well, former resident. I don't live there anymore, but I grew up between Berry Island and here. But I claim the Berry Islands as my hometown island. And I would say it is unfortunate that there's that stigma that persons from the family island, are inferior, quote unquote, if that's the thought process that's out there. However, the fact of the matter is, yes, there is limited resources, limited opportunities, just by nature of those being smaller islands, and access to um, whether that's the big time jobs or the big companies is limited, just by nature, right? But what I would say has shaped or helped to shape the woman who I am, that being a part of my story, is helped, I think, to shape my sense of community. And when it comes to being resilient and having to just overcome, right? And just doing what you have to do to achieve your own personal goals or exceed them. So I would say just being from the island has instilled in me that sense of community, like I say, that sense of, making sure I understand that I can't get to where I want to go alone, that I have to reach out and get support from women like you, other mentors or persons who are in this space who can help me propel myself and the resilience, right? Understanding that your circumstances doesn't determine your where you can what you can achieve, right? So that I would say that family island background is something that I would lean on and have seen where it's shaped who I am today.
That's good. Listening to you talk, it reminds me of something Maya Angelou said, and still we rise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, can you give us a quick walkthrough of the road that led to cybersecurity and your career journey thus far?
Of course, happily. So I always say that I've fell into cybersecurity. This isn't a career path or even an industry that I was aware of as I was, let's say, in high school, which is where my aspirations to be in information technology was birthed. When I was in high school, I did my first computer class at that time, and from then I was intrigued. I know I wanted to work soft, right? That's what I always
I'm
said.
curious, what does it mean to work
Yeah,
soft?
so I envisioned myself working in an office space and
Oh,
on a
okay.
computer, typing, that kind of soft.
I totally
Soft
get it,
life.
because outside what? Outside is too what?
So I've always wanted to work in information technology. So I went off to college, got a degree in information systems, a bachelor's degree, came back home with a master's degree in business administration. And I knew I had a love for information technology. So it was when I received my first job opportunity as a temp, right? Imagine that. I'm coming back home with these degrees, master's degree, at the top of them, and I'm taking a job as a temp in the IT department at the hotel at the time where I worked. And so I didn't care that it wasn't a high paying job or even a permanent job. I just knew that this is where I wanted to be. And in doing that, I was offered a position in it was called information assurance at the time, but it was the information and cybersecurity department. I was offered a position as a information security analyst. I had no idea what cybersecurity was. I had no idea what this job is going to require of me, but I took it, right? Not understanding that I was qualified, but that is where my passion for cybersecurity was developed. So from there, I fell in love with the just with the overall function, its purpose in the organization, and the fact that I felt like I was saving the company,
So
right?
not the world, just the company.
Just the company. That what I
Okay.
was doing was something that's going
Really
to
mattered.
secure that it really
Okay.
mattered. So from that opportunity, I then moved up within that organization, starting as an analyst to when, at the time that I left, I was manager, the first manager in that department in information and cybersecurity. So during that journey, I knew that one of the things my mentor and boss at the time said to me that um, he always pushed for me to get certifications. He said that is going to differentiate me from the other persons in the room, right? Or the other options or the other persons being considered for different opportunities. So I took his advice, and as much as possible, I pursued different certifications that I thought would benefit me and add credibility to my experience and my qualifications when it comes to, you know, being looked at for different opportunities.
Okay. So that's a good segue for my next question. Um, there are, from a global standpoint, the CISSP is very widely recognized, but is not held by many also.
Right.
So it's being a woman in the Caribbean, you are part of a rare group of individuals that hold certifications like the CISSP, the CISM, CISA, CRIS, and I think you now have a CCISO certification as well.
Yes.
So how have you found pursuing multiple certifications have shaped your mindset and credibility, especially as a woman in a technical leadership role?
Right. So, being female comes with its disadvantages, natural disadvantages, right? Inherent disadvantages when it comes to being in the technology arena. We are looked at as less qualified, less competent, just less than. So, my obtaining these various certifications was really motivated by me wanting to strengthen my toolkit, right? So each of these certifications have different domains in which they really focus on. So whether that's the auditor side of things, whether that's, you know, the cybersecurity operations, or even just leadership, cybersecurity leadership, these certifications help to um, certify your understanding of these various areas. So I would say that I wasn't in pursuit of just putting the alphabet soup at the back of my name. I really was intending to strengthen myself, make sure when my name is called that the reason why I didn't get an opportunity would never be because I wasn't qualified. That was my internal driver. I never wanted to be looked at as somebody who was just fluffing through. I always understood that as a female, I'm going to have to over prove myself, right, in order to be respected and seen as someone serious in this field. But on a more personal level, I am that type of person where I just like to commit to my craft. So because I knew I was committed and my passion was cybersecurity, I was going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm a powerhouse. Not just because I'm female, just because I'm a cybersecurity professional.
Understood. Understood. In your view, what leadership qualities are most important to cultivate security teams, and how do you work to build trust and retention
Um,
within your division?
wow. So in this field, you're gonna encounter a diverse set of personalities, diverse set of skill sets, which is what I love about my team specifically. So what I would say the first trait a leader should have, or that I think I've demonstrated with my team, is trust. Being able to build trust, being able to have that direct line of communication, being able to empower them, right? Empower my team through training, giving them stretch assignments, making them feel a part of the program, getting their buy in from the onset. Um, a leader is as weak or as strong as their team. And so if I don't have a vision or a strategy, or I'm able to motivate and influence them to come along on this journey with me, then I would have failed them as a leader. And so what I find is also valuable is being able to connect what we do with the overall objectives and the overall value we bring to the business. So being able to communicate that, I think, has been key in terms of my leadership and me being able to lead a team. And I call them my boss, actually. I'm serving to them.
They say leadership, an effective leader is a servant.
Yes, so I call them my boss. So they actually drive me, and they help to contribute to my thinking. They bring their ideas. I use their ideas. I give them a space where they can be seen, and their value is something that I recognize, and I show that to them as much as possible. And that is what has, I would say, helped me to lead this very successful team right now.
Glad to hear, glad to hear. I have seen you reference yourself fondly, I might say, as a cybersecurity Jedi.
Ah,
What does that title mean to you in practical terms, and how do you hope to inspire the next generation of women in cyber?
yeah, so that is actually a name that was given to me when I attended a conference recently. And I think I got that name for several reasons. One, in every space I have an opportunity to be in, I'm an advocate for cybersecurity. I'm an advocate for women in cyber. And so I think my passion shines through, and it is something that has been just transparent. And then when it comes to my individual capabilities, I think I feel like I'm like a superhero, right? So I feel like I'm a superhero in that the work that we do, I feel that it is that important. I feel like the work that we do is really something that secures our company, that builds, helps to establish resilience for our companies. So from that standpoint, I've kind of put on that armor, the Jedi holding the sword. So I feel empowered in that way. But also, when I think about the sword analogy, my goal is not to keep it with me. Like every opportunity I have, and I could share knowledge with the next female, my colleagues, my peers like yourself, young women who've never heard about cybersecurity, young women who are aspiring to be in cybersecurity. So me having that sword per se is not something that I intend to keep for myself, but I find joy and reward when I'm able to share and enlighten, or even to encourage another female to come into this space.
So the sword will be passed
The
on.
sword will be passed on.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good to know.
Yes.
So, as you are now a superhero woman,
Superhero woman. Yes. Sometimes it feel like that. This cape is be heavy. Life
heavy
is be life
heavy as the head that holds the craft. So, what is your superpower?
Woo. My
Hey?
superpower.
Oh, you're top. Like, you only get to give us one. You probably got 10, but only give us one. You
my
got to keep some secrets.
superpower. So I think my superpower is the ability to inspire. To inspire. So because it is a deep passion of mine to advocate for women to take on the mantle of leading in cybersecurity, just leading in any space that they are a part of. I feel that shines through in everything I do. The organizations I'm a part of, the initiatives I lead or I become a part of, it's all because I want to inspire. I want to leave this earth knowing that I contributed positively, in enabling or encouraging someone to do something great, to go into whether that's professionally, just to take that leap and to do this thing that um, we weren't intended, for lack of a better term, but we weren't intended to be a part of.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So, quite a few people view cybersecurity as purely technical. They look at it and they think, first off, you're just hacking things. They don't see the bigger picture and
Right.
how huge the field
Right.
actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is intimidating to women who may feel that it is too technical or it may feel that it's inaccessible.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give someone who's just starting out or is thinking about a career change but then thinking that, hey, cyber might not quite be it because it's too
Yeah.
much?
I love this question. I've answered it several times. So, just the idea that cybersecurity is technical couldn't be furthest from the truth. Cybersecurity is a vast and dynamic area where there's space for analysts, for auditors, communicators, educators, persons who love marketing, right? There's so many different jobs that exist in cybersecurity, and we have natural skills that are transferable to this space. If you are somebody who just loves solving problems, you are somebody who likes to think critically, you're somebody who just likes to, in marketing, like you like to share information and training. There's opportunities in cybersecurity for you. Of course, there's the technical element, but that is not all that we do. It takes a collective skill set, a group of skill sets to really be successful, a security program to be successful.
I totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Okay. So you have built your career in the Bahamas while engaging beyond. How have you balanced local commitment with global exposure? And what impact do you hope to see for cybersecurity in the Bahamian tech ecosystem?
So I'm happy that I've seen traction in terms of cybersecurity becoming a more popular, the awareness around the opportunities and just this career area has increased in the Bahamas, right? Um, Yourself, myself, some of our colleagues or other women who we know in this space can speak to the fact that we've been able to employ more persons in this field. More persons are becoming more qualified here in the Bahamas, and I think we are a representation of that. We're still far behind our regional and our global colleagues or persons who are in this space. And so, what the global exposure has done is open my eyes to what possibilities exist for us here in the Bahamas. And even when I go into those spaces, I'm able to advocate for persons to come and collaborate with us here in the Bahamas to look at talent here from in the Bahamas, right? Because we are just as qualified. So that is how I've been able to connect to global space and our local cybersecurity community. And I'm looking forward to more expansion, more increase in terms of more persons getting qualified, more firms where we can collaborate and discuss and have dialogue and have these conversations around cybersecurity. Nationally, we're having those conversations
Yes.
now, right?
Yes,
Which
and
hasn't
that's-
always
I
been
think
the
Cert
case.
BS has done a remarkable job of getting that
Excellent job.
conversation started, I think, in the
Yes.
last few years.
Yes.
And I think that with some of the legislation that's about to come on board, that it's going to make a remarkable difference here on how we approach cybersecurity.
Agreed. I agree wholeheartedly.
All right, one last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at you and knowing you personally, the last 12 months have been incredibly busy for you. You have completed certifications. You launched the first ever Alive Cybersecurity Summit earlier this year. You were part of the Commonwealth Fellowship cohort.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've been doing it.
Yes.
So,
I still can't
okay,
tell you
give
how.
me the highlights of your year in review.
You just highlighted it all, and it's all been one remarkable thing after the next, one unbelievable thing after the next, and I don't intend to slow down, right? I don't intend to slow down because I can see I get fueled and energized by being a part of these types of initiatives. The certifications, yes, that's a personal endeavor. But let's say hosting the first cybersecurity summit for a live business, that has that is a project where we are able to bring persons from so many different industries into the same room to talk about and listen to conversations around cybersecurity,
Not to
right?
mention, you had speakers from
All
around the
around the
world. Like, it
world,
wasn't just
yes.
even the Caribbean.
Yes, yes. And we've had conferences or summits here, but to do it from a private sector organization where we are able to foster that public-private dialogue, partnership conversations. I think that is what has been the real highlight of hosting that summit earlier this year. Like as I mentioned, the certifications, those are personal endeavors. The Caribbean fellowship that I'm a part of, that's now, being able to collaborate from a regional level. So these are all things that have I see have the ability to have real impact. So that is what has been energizing me from going from one thing to the next. I can't say that one particular event has been my favorite. It's just
So you just don't want to go. You don't want to go on the record, but we're gonna keep it. They were all equally fabulous. I
all
understand.
were fabulous,
I
and
totally
they were
understand.
not all things that I was able to do by myself. I had help, I had support, I had championship from my organization, which I'm always grateful for. Their investment in me and my dream and my passion, and the organization's ability to see the importance and understand the importance of cybersecurity, not just within our organization, but our responsibility to make sure that awareness is on a more national level. So I'm always grateful for the organization for that. But I really can't say that there's been one thing that is highlighted. It's just been a whirlwind of a year. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it all.
I have one more question for real this time.
Sure.
So you have mentioned certification several times, especially in the light of professional development.
Mhm.
And I've seen you with a lot of interns this summer, so I'm going to ask if any of them have or would come to you and ask you, "Hey, I'm interested in going into this space. What would be the pinnacle certification, or what do you think is a must-have certification in your arsenal?" Because there are so many to choose from.
Yes, there is. So personally, I would say this. I'm not somebody who believes that certifications are the end all and be all. I do believe that there's persons who just probably don't sit exams well. However, they may be the most creative, out of the box thinkers. They may be some of the persons who can come on the job on day one and be able to jump into action, jump into a role, and just hit the ground running, right? So I do believe that there's a place for certifications. Um, and because cybersecurity is such a dynamic space, I would say get into an entry level role. There's some entry level certifications like the Security Plus that every professional going into the space should have. And then as you become curious into whether that's the more technical area, the auditing area, then you go and pursue certifications that speaks to and that are aligned with the area of focus for you, right? So there's no one set of certifications that everybody should have, but there are specific ones that are in tune with what it is that you want to pursue in cybersecurity. But at the very least, come into um, come into any hiring position with the very basic entry level certifications.
I am of one like mine, so we are on
Yes.
accord for that one.
Yes.
So, something you weren't aware of,
Mm-hmm.
this little switch we'll be doing this where I actually tell you why you were chosen to be a part of the
Oh,
series.
okay.
So, why you are my WCW.
Okay.
One is the island girl in you. I won't lie. So, my mom's family hails from Andros, which is, just like the sister cousin
Yes.
of Berry.
Yes. Minutes
And
away.
yes, and I spent a lot of time there growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always found Family Islanders to be very striving individuals, and I think you have embodied that. You have
Thank
stayed
you.
humble to your roots. You are, I find, a diligent worker. You are strong. Eh? And when we say you was smart, you is pretty.
He was kind.
Yes. And all of that. I use a bad Mama Jama.
Thank you. I appreciate
And so
it.
much more. And then I've had the privilege of working with you, especially now that we're all in the same Rotary group and stuff. And so I've gotten to watch you in this journey, and it's
Yes.
just been so remarkable to see you shine.
Thank
So
you.
my wish is that you continue to soar and you continue to shine.
Thank you, and likewise to you. I feel like I should be interviewing you for this WCW. So who's gonna interview you?
We haven't decided yet. We haven't decided yet. But it will be there. It will be there.
Yes, but thank you. Thank you for creating this space. Thank you for this idea. I think this is going to be very impactful because, again, as women, we have to bring each other along. We have to shine the light on each other, as you said in the beginning, because the light is not always going to be on and just waiting for us, right? We have to create these spaces for each other, and we need to bring the younger women who are coming up with us. We can't leave them behind. And thank you for bringing this series to them, and hopefully it's something that encourages and inspires the next generation of cybersecurity leaders who are going to be female.
Yes, definitely. Thank you once again for joining me today. And for those of you who took the time to listen to us, thank you so much. And until next time.